visibility if there's anybody in those cars. It looks like many of them have converged on foot over towards the right side of the vehicle. But if there's anybody in there, they at least have some visibility onto the driver's side. We're going to come around real quickly and try and put eyes on the driver's side while we have an opportunity. You can see that CHP helicopter also providing reconnaissance on all sides of the vehicle as they fly around that van. But right now, my hunch is that he's sitting in that passenger side right behind that spare tire. That spare tire may actually be providing some kind of a false sense of security for him. At least it's something for him to hide behind. And as we get a better look here, you see them huddling up in the middle of the freeway, trying to strategize and figure out what their next move is going to be. But let's find out now and see if we can see the driver's side any better around this tree. We'll see if he's put up any other barricade or any other types of shielding to block the visibility in there. And it does look like there is just the glass, just that shattered glass window. I don't see that he's tried to stuff anything on the driver's side. So again, my hunch is that he's in that passenger seat, guys.
Right.
Yeah, and you can see here on this driver's side, there's definitely damage to that driver's side front tire. As we look at the backup here on the westbound 91, you can see here they're having traffic kind of exit the wrong way. They're having traffic a little further back, exit the correct way. And at this point, when we've seen standoffs like this before, CHP will really make an effort to get everyone who's stuck, at least eventually. It might take a while, but they'll try and get everyone who's stuck off the freeway. But that might take a little bit of time to have people exit the wrong way and legally kind of clear the scene so that at least anybody that's stuck can find a way to get on their way, and then people further back will just meet a closed freeway and just have to exit accordingly. And that's all, because of this right here, what we're dealing with, this standoff. This current standoff scene has been underway for about going on 45 minutes now, after multiple pursuits and a couple other standoffs previously. Just to kind of give everybody what led up to this, we do believe that Long Beach PD started this pursuit of a kidnapping suspect a few hours ago, and that pursuit led to a standoff on the 710 freeway. At some point during the standoff, the suspect took off again and pulled over and got out of the vehicle and walked around for a little bit and then got back in the vehicle, at which point we believe CHP took over the pursuit and the suspect exited on the 91 westbound. There was a pit maneuver by CHP, and that's what led to what we're seeing right now. Now, we mentioned that this was a kidnapping suspect, and as we mentioned earlier, the information that we're getting from Long Beach PD is that at least at some point the kidnapping victim was also in the vehicle, and at some point the kidnapping victim was able to get out of the vehicle, and that person, we know, does not want to press charges or do anything of that nature. So definitely kind of a interesting dynamics as far as what led up to this whole thing. But now CHP has a standoff on their hands and a suspect that they need to have taken into custody. As you can see, those CHP officers on the left side of your screen trying to work out a plan. They're communicating, they're gathering, and they're figuring out what some of the next steps they may need to take to try and bring this to an end and get this 91 freeway open.
Yeah, and we're not seeing the K9 anymore. So I guess what are some of the options? We've kind of discussed a bit of those, but what in these situations, what are some of the options they might be looking into right now, Chris?
Well, I mean, at some point, if they can, if they can get some visibility into his disposition, they will prepare or could prepare to basically bum rush whatever side of the vehicle they know he's on. They have shields. They have, the ability to approach as an arrest team in one unit. They can take a bunch of officers with shields and basically pull him out. If they see him and they can reach him, they can physically pull him out, especially with the help of a K9 unit. Again, that's assuming it's safe for everybody involved. When you have a lot of broken glass like that, it does, give you a second pause about releasing the dog as well. That's another thing when it comes to the canine. You hate to see them run through broken glass in these situations. But again, I've seen it done before. It's just not ideal. So they have, they have tools, but they don't have the tools that a SWAT team does have. And so at some point, if they don't feel comfortable with the intel that they do have, and by the way, they do have some ability. I spoke earlier about the technology on that CHP helicopter. That CHP helicopter doesn't have the same technology as LAPD that I mentioned, but it does have IR technology in it. And that does give them some visibility into what his position may be and what other materials could be in the back of that van. It's a different technology, but it's still very good technology that gives them some intel that at least we don't have. So they have a little more resources to work with than what we're seeing here. But now you see, as an insurance policy, an additional CHP cruiser has now blocked him in, just in case there was any hope of him pulling into reverse. Quite frankly, I think that vehicle was finally done, but now he certainly has the added obstacle of a cruiser that has blocked him in. So he's not going to be able to move that vehicle. Whatever he does will most likely be on foot, whether he surrenders peacefully on foot with his hands up or this plays out some other way. That's the big question.
Wow. And I mean, too, we see, and this probably wouldn't be very smart of him, but and the reason why I was asking a bit earlier about what's happening on the driver's side is if he wanted to try to hop out and then jump over into that vegetation there. I mean, by the time he'd do that, obviously, I don't think he'd get very far, but.
yeah, exactly. Well, that is a possibility, and then it would turn into a foot pursuit. But here comes the arrest team that I just spoke about just a couple minutes ago. They are putting a unit together, 2 officers in the lead there as they march towards the vehicle, weapons drawn, shields up. What they're probably going to do here is pull down that pillow and maybe even pull out the tire, and then you'll see them retreat slightly if that gives them better visibility. So the first step is to get that cardboard out of the way. Are those what's up top there, guys? Those aren't hands. Yeah, they don't see his hands, so they're going to pull that cardboard out, and then maybe even that sheet there. There's the sheet. Yep. The sheet is jammed in the door, but there goes the sheet. There goes the cardboard, and we'll see. You see the shields blocking the suspect. He's trying to pull that sheet back inside the vehicle, but he's basically hiding under the sheet. He's hiding under that blanket. And so they tried to pull it. They were able to dislodge it from the passenger side door, but he's still holding on tightly to that sheet. And unfortunately, they did not manage to pull away that cardboard. They're probably going to give that another shot. And if you think about it, if we replay what we just saw, this was probably the smartest possible move that they could have done. Make an attempt to approach the vehicle. They feel pretty confident that he's in that passenger seat, and they just, if they could, try and remove those obstacles. Try and remove that cardboard, the blanket, the tire, and then the game kind of starts from scratch again.
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of movement there from the pursuit suspect here, and definitely a coordinated move by CHP to move in and try and grab some of those things. He obviously tried to pull the sheet back in, but the hope is that maybe this move will try and encourage the suspect to change his mind about things and let him know that CHP is pretty serious. Like, they will move in and they will try that again in due time. And it's very interesting that they pulled that CHP vehicle up behind the van to try and add an additional layer of security to try and prevent, even with the tires damaged as they are, to try and prevent any further movement from this van. But, that suspect in true barricade form has the sheet up, has the cardboard box up, and we know that there's that spare tire still under there, kind of blocking everything. So it'll be interesting to see as we see some continued movement there from that suspect, kind of peering up above the sheet. I think I see a bit of a face in there. As we see kind of CHP continuing to wait this out. It does appear, though, which is a good sign, that the suspect is continuing to communicate with CHP officers. If the suspect was not communicating, if he was quiet at all, that would kind of raise the stakes. But at least at this point, he's communicating. So officers know at least that they're able to talk to him and see where his mind is at as we see these officers moving in for another go-around.
Yeah, communication is good, but without being able to see his hands, the risk is just as high. So here they are making a second attempt, and I imagine the first thing they'll go for this time might be that cardboard box. That's going to be the easiest thing to pull, and then that blanket as well. So we'll see if they can manage to pull this debris out of the passenger side window. Here comes the blanket next, and now they'll at least be able to see inside the vehicle. Presumably it's locked, so they can't open it up, but now they've got a lot more visibility into that front seat there. There's a taser pointed at the rear there. It looks like he's retreated to the rear of the van. He has retreated to the rear of the van. That passenger side appears empty, and here comes the sliding door. Now officers on both sides, driver side and passenger side, being bum rushed by those officers, and now they're in a position where they can quickly extract the suspect out of the side compartment there. There's the door, and there you see the suspect sliding right out of the door onto the ground, and they will now tackle him to the ground and restrain him and detain him and bring this to its rightful conclusion. Finally, after an extended standoff, his second standoff with law enforcement of the day, this time it comes to a dramatic end here in the middle of the 91 freeway.
Well, Chris Christie, I got here just in time. This is Mark Brown.
Timing is everything, Mark.
I finally got in and was able to get on the desk here and watched it unfold along with you and along with everybody watching our stream here. The drama finally unfolding and ending in a way in which everybody is safe. They did not have to employ the dog. They didn't have to use unnecessary force on this individual. They brought him in just as you described it. And it was a lot of people involved in that. You saw all the different, you've got CHP here, and it looks like they're the ones who did it. Looking at their uniforms and everything, the ones with the stripes down the side, of course, are CHP officers. So that is who managed to do this. Yeah, he's fighting with them, but you notice they're using restraint and they're trying to keep his limbs under control. And in so doing, protect themselves and him. They are checking out the van to see if there might be anybody else in there. This began, of course, with a report of a kidnapping, which and has ended pretty safely. Apparently, nobody was kidnapped that we know of. There's nobody in the van, and now you have, after a long standoff on the 91 freeway, the traffic has to be tremendous. Could you show us what awaits the drivers on the westbound side of the 91 freeway?
So traffic has been turned around, Mark, here on the 91 freeway. That entrance ramp is now being used as an exit ramp, and this detour has actually been in place for the better part of at least 20 or 30 minutes. So a lot of the traffic on the 91 freeway has been relieved onto surface streets, but that hasn't made anybody's day any better. You can see the jam is now empty. That traffic jam that was on the 91 freeway has been relieved, but now you still see a lot of residual traffic on the other side of the 710 freeway because they are being detoured off of the 91 freeway altogether, and that's where you see bumper-to-bumper traffic on the westbound side leading up to the 710 freeway. Keep in mind, this all started on the 710 freeway, which was shut down completely for about an hour because of this same guy who refused to come out of the van at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So it's just been a wild day here in this part of town, but finally, as you say, it has come to a peaceful resolution.
All right, what a mess it has been, and that mess will be over soon. They want to get this freeway open and up and running because this is, in fact, Southern California. We rely on our freeways to move people and commerce and all manner of things, and people want to get home. So they're going to do